Morning, Unitic here. It's a video diary entry for Sunday morning, August the 23rd. Geez, I just noticed that beard's getting pretty outrageous. I'm in Scott City, Kansas, and camping at the city park as per usual. My last video entry from Larned, I know, was maybe a little depressing. I was pretty exhausted at the end of that day. It was the first day of all-day headwind and a steady uphill. Kansas may not be hilly, but it's definitely not level. It has a steady upward grade all the way to Colorado when you're going east to west. And today and tomorrow may be my last relatively flat days as I get into Pueblo, Colorado. It's going to start going straight uphill. I made the mistake. I don't know if it's a mistake, but I was doing some online research of the next section called the Western Express that goes from Pueblo on to San Francisco, and reading some cyclist blogs. And it's a little intimidating. I hadn't done that much research on the Western Express, the specifics of the route. It's a lot of climbing through Colorado and Utah and Nevada, and a lot of desolate, open terrain, unpopulated terrain, no services, and long stretches. I think there are going to be some days definitely with 10,000 feet plus of climbing, which is twice as much, if not more, than I ever did in the Ozarks. Hopefully graded a little more sanely, but I know there's some very steep pitches too when you get up to some of these high passes, and a lot of desert, open terrain. It's going to be gorgeous. I've backpacked through much of Utah and parts of Colorado. Colorado and California. So I'm looking forward to the beauty, but I'm a little bit intimidated, to tell you the truth. It was worrying me a little last night. I'm getting ahead of myself and not staying in the present moment. I wanted to share with you the wonderful occurrence I had in a place called Rush Center the morning after I left Larned. I had gotten a great section of tailwind when I took a due north tack for about 19 miles, and I got to average 24 miles an hour plus with hardly much effort, and it was just so much fun riding like that. And stopped in this little diner at this crossroads called Rush Center, and about 10 minutes after being there, a gentleman by the name of Terry came up and sat down and started talking to me about my bike. Turns out he and his wife are recent cycling enthusiasts over the last several years, and he was really interested in doing some touring, and just the night before they had bought 2 Trek touring bicycles, and he was kind enough to invite me to come out and stay with them at their farmhouse in Kansas, about 5 miles outside of Ness City, which was my destination for the night. So that was great. It gave me some motivation, because the next stretch of trail, the afternoon section, was crosswinds and some headwinds again. It's really hard on you. There's no chance to take a break. You just got to keep pedaling. And but Terry came and picked me up outside of Ness City, and I had a wonderful visit with them. Their beautiful restored 1908 farmhouse they did all themselves, a working farm, and wonderful conversations about all kinds of things, including, we talked a little bit about the industrialization and marginalization of small family farmers. Terry was telling me the story about how basically organized factory pig farming came in, and with immoral tactics like buying off all the truckers, so small farmers couldn't get their pigs to market anywhere close. They basically shoved all these smaller farmers, out of the pork industry to the benefit of these massive factory farms. And that's the kind of intimidation and tyranny that's going on in virtually all of our industries as they become more and more industrialized and centralized. It's happening anywhere from the financial industry to the food industry to water, energy, and you know, we have the power to stop that. We have the power to stop that decline and that tyranny. It's a very tiny number of people at the top of these pyramids that are perpetuating this selfishness to the detriment of the vast majority of us. But they only do it because we cooperate. And when we realize that collectively, that all we have to do is say, nope, I'm not going to participate, I'm going to go our own way, we can reinvent without question Humanity 2.0, where there's more than enough for everybody as long as we don't follow these pathological conditionings, mind control programs that turn us into mindless consumers. Not what we are, but what we're taught to be. So I'm feeling better today. Cold front came through last night. It was really windy. It was blowing the tarp. Didn't get a lot of sleep. But it's like low 50s this morning and chilly. And the wind turned though, so I may actually have some tailwind today. And I may go longer. I had a short day planned because I really had no need to get into Pueblo too early because Drew's sending me a package with my cold weather gear and probably won't be there till Wednesday. But if I get in a day early, I can stay in the motel Tuesday night, and I think UPS would have the package there by 10:30 anyway to the motel. So if I feel good today and I have tailwind, I may do my first century. 90 miles is my longest ride so far, from Murfreesboro to Farmington, Missouri, and that was a pretty bumpy ride the last 50 miles. But today's uphill, but with tailwind it makes all the difference. So it's cool weather, 77 for a high, gonna be nice again tomorrow. Been totally blessed with great weather so far, and really counting my lucky stars for that. Thanks for all the words of encouragement from folks out there pulling me up from my little low point in Larned, and we'll keep trekking on. Viet Animo, Unitic out for today.